Welcome to the Mid-Market Edge podcast, where we uncover operational insights for private equity-backed portfolio companies. I'm your host, Kevin Bonfield, and over the last 30 years, I've had the privilege of working with fast-growing entrepreneurial teams, helping them scale, tackle challenges, and seize new opportunities. On this show, we'll talk to industry experts and seasoned leaders who will share practical strategies to drive growth, boost efficiency, and create value in the mid-market. Get ready for an insightful, engaging conversation that dives deep into the real-world issues facing your business.
Hey, welcome to the Mid-Market Edge podcast. Today, I want to welcome Edward Lim. Edward is the founder and president of Doxa Talent Solutions in the Philippines, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Doxa Talent. And so I wanted to invite Edward on here because we've been talking about global teams to hear a completely different perspective than the one we've talked about up until this point. So, Edward, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Kevin. Really excited for this conversation.
Fantastic. So maybe we can just start off by just talking about Doxa, what Doxa is, what Doxa does, and then we can kind of go from there.
All right. So Doxa is not the usual BPO or business process outsourcing company. I think of it more as like an EOR or employee on record. 80% of the BPOs here in the Philippines are mostly call center work, but we're not that, right? So we think about extending your office staff to the Philippines. So it's an extension of your local team. We do roles like accounting, IT, marketing. So everything that you have in your domestic office, we can do in the Philippines.
Yeah. So tell me, how did this start? What was the challenge that you were seeing in the marketplace that required a different approach?
Yeah. So I give the spiel, Kevin. I give the spiel every month when I speak with their new hires, right? So Doxa was co-founded by David Nielsen, Michael Ross, myself, and the three of us were friends from EO, or the Entrepreneurs Organization. We all took the same role, one after the other. That is the Global Learning Committee chair.
All right.
Yeah, that's how it started. And in January 2020, Michael Ross, who is also a professor at Chapman University, took 30 students to the Philippines and to do documentaries. So he gave me a call and he said, Edward, I need your help. I need 6 topics for documentaries. So pretty much I did what he was being paid to do. Right. So the topics I gave were, it's a day in the life of a GP driver, Philippine churches, Philippine food, and one of them is the BPO industry, which is a booming industry in the Philippines. So I took him to a BPO one night. He did his interviews, talked to the people, and he came out dazed and he said he has so much ideas. He said, I know how this could be done. There's a better way. And he learned that people are commuting 2 hours one way. So that's 4 hours a day, 4 hours that they can use for something better, no? And then he also realized that there's not much touch points between a client and the BPO worker here. He said, that's just wrong. And so he said, Edward, there's so many things I want to change. And I said, talk to David, because David has a few people here in the Philippines and he's noticed a lot of pain points that he wanted to correct himself. So a couple of weeks later, we got on a call and we said, let's flip this around and create a new product. No? So the other to set our people up for success, meaning let's provide them with laptops, be strict with cybersecurity. We've noticed in other BPOs, the workers are supposed to provide their own laptops. And the problem there is the company is not in control of the contents and that it could, it could leak. David's pain point was that his staff here was not getting raises and they pretty much had the same salary for a few years. So there were a lot of things, and most importantly, we didn't want the people to be just another number. We wanted to give the workers dignity in the work that they do. And so We called Ira Crisologo, who is now our general manager, and Lauren Hoover from the US to join us as co-founders. And Doxa was born in 2020 at the height of the pandemic.
So there's at least one good thing that's come out of that time in our collective lives. Yeah.
Yes, it changed the trajectory of a lot of our lives.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And just to be completely clear, I'm a customer of Doxa, and Doxa. I've got a number of team members that are part of Doxa, and they are fantastic. So I'm an absolute. So you got started, Edward, and there's obviously a big difference, right? Working from home, being engaged with the company that they're working for, being a part of the company. How have your team members responded to that kind of difference in the way that they work and who they work with?
So that's the best. That's the selling point of Doxa to our employees, who we call VIPs, meaning very blank person. I can stand for intelligent, inspirational, or whatever I could stand.
Okay.
So what it's done is that it's revolutionized how we work. We believe in giving people back their time. As I said, it's 2 hours one way, 4 hours a day. And if you extrapolate that in the whole year, by working remotely, we give them 40 days back, 40 days which they can use for spending with their families. They're not, they no longer have to leave the country. They're not strangers to their children.
Right.
And they can have a balanced life. No? So what's happened is that our people have started going back to the provinces where cost of living is cheaper. They're with their families, and so everyone's happy. We've had a lot of success stories, people achieving their dreams, what's important to Filipinos? To have a permanent address, meaning a house of their own. Okay. So we've had a few people who've put a down payment or have purchased their first property, which is a huge deal. Another dream is to lift communities. In this case, get their family members or their children to finish college and help the family. We've done a lot of those. Engagement wise, so we do have engagement activities. As I said, every month the founders would spend time with the new hires just to get to know their stories. Nothing about business, but getting to know who they are. And that's been very effective. I remember our very first meetup with their staff. This was during the pandemic, and the Philippines had a very strict lockdown, and we had to observe social distancing. We had to wear masks, and not just masks, we even had to wear face shields.
Wow.
I know, for a year, right?
Wow.
And one of the VIPs said, "Sir, by the way, I'm not a knight. They just call me sir. This is a first for us." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "This is the first time we're meeting upper management." I says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Yeah, in our previous employers, we just never met. We just meet supervisors, but nobody from up top." So, I've thought of that. I remember that. And it's become, I said, that's not going to happen. We're going to meet each and every VIP that we hire.
Okay, so you meet everybody that you hire when they start with Doxa.
We split it among the founders.
Okay, yeah. Well, because how many people does Doxa have now?
We have about 950.
Yeah, it gets to a point where it's difficult to meet everybody.
Oh yeah. We ideally we want to meet everyone more than once, but we haven't gotten around to that point yet.
Yeah. And how are your VIPs responding to this new way of working?
Oh, they love it. They love it. They love the flexibility. They love the trust. They love not being micromanaged. What else is there?
Well, I think that one of the things that I've seen, Edward, is that there's more of a career path. It's not you're coming into to kind of be in one role and you stay in
Yeah.
that role, but people are developing.
Yeah. So, one important thing for us is that we're able to provide an experience for our VIPs on how it is to work in a global arena, right? So they're no longer a worker from the Philippines or Colombia or Vietnam or Kenya, but they're a global workforce. We are getting to be a global community. Everything is so much easier now with technology. And they have to up their game, and that's what they've been able to do. Um, they they are very much appreciated by their clients, and it's not unusual for for our VIPs to become the employee of the month of our clients. So they're really part of the team.
Yeah. Yeah. So that must be a challenging conversation with your clients to say, hey, look, they've been a part of your company for a while. What's their, what's their career
Yes.
path? Yeah. Within that company concept.
For those who've embraced the whole concept of offshoring, it's not difficult. It's actually very easy. It was a natural progression. Uh, we actually have, I mean, I'm talking about the extreme, right? We even have one VIP who is now the CFO of a client.
Is that right?
Shocking, right? I was shocked myself,
Right.
but she didn't start as CFO and she ended up a CFO. Um, Now, not everyone is looking for promotion. Some people are just happy to be where they are. But for those who are really talented and who show initiative, a lot of initiative, there is a career pathing for them in uh, within the client's company. It's last year, I think 46% of our people saw vertical movement within the organizations they're working for. So
47%.
46.
So that, yeah, so they're progressing their careers with their clients. They're getting more and more responsibility, and they're taking larger roles within the companies that they're
Correct.
with. That's
Correct.
incredible.
The ones who are not doing that are the ones who we call the onesies or the twosies, our clients who just have one or two clients with us, with one or two VIPs with us. And we're trying to partner with them and, show them what other roles they can use using global talent.
Yeah. I mean, you started off by talking about, I think, some of the typical roles that you'll see that companies, when they're dipping their toe or putting their foot into the global talent arena for the first time, will go after, right? So things like executive support, finance, back office, technology, help desk, that kind of thing. But you have a whole range of different roles that Doxa is providing for your clients, right?
Yeah, so for the newbies, for the uninitiated, what they want is a virtual assistant, right? One person who can do your website, do payroll, do marketing. They think it's one person who can do everything in the office. But what we're saying is that no, we're very specialized. It's whatever roles that you have in the office is what we can do.
Right.
Um, s- Sorry, what were you saying? Sorry.
So I was just saying that there's a range of different roles
Roles. Okay.
and different industries that you're supporting as well.
So I think our biggest success was one of our earlier clients who started with 5 VIPs with us, and right now they have 120. Um, I know, and it gets crazy, right? So it started with the accounting department, with the finance department, and they were hiring 401k administrators, accounts receivable people, accounts payable, payroll clerks, right? So it's all finance, and the other departments in the organization got wind of it and said, "Hey, do you have this role?" So now we're in marketing, we're in IT, IT help desk one. So it's across. I mean, that's the super success story. Um, the other day, I looked at our service offerings, the list of roles. Now we have about 400. I was shocked.
400. Okay, so what's the most interesting one then, Edward? I mean, what are the edge cases that people get?
But when I say 400, it's 400. It could be the same role, but junior and senior. But the unusual ones, I would say the first unusual one is the glass estimator, right? So we have
Okay.
a client who does construction, and so he asked, do you have a glass estimator? So I'm glad I wasn't the one who dealt with him, because I would have said no.
Yeah.
But one of our team members said, hey, let me ask recruiting, and recruiting said, that's a very simple skill set, and we have a lot of those. And so they decided to try it out, and now I think they have 6 glass estimators now. So I was talking to a new client, right? And I said, yeah, we have an unusual role, is a glass estimator. I says, hang on. I mean, if you have a glass estimator, do you have a steel estimator? I said, let me check. So
Yeah.
needless to say, he now has 2 steel estimators uh,
Wow.
on his team. I mean, we have to be open with and not be afraid to ask what
Right.
roles we fill. Um, One of our bigger clients is a snow removal company, right? I mean,
Okay.
I didn't realize that was big business. I mean, remember, we don't have snow here in the Philippines.
Right.
So he has 16 people with us who would coordinate with the different states, contractors, get in touch with contractors to remove snow from the from the Walmarts and from all these other businesses.
Right.
And they can speak as though they experience snow regularly, but they don't. So these are the extreme cases, but the others are pretty mainstream. But you just don't think that uh, I can outsource this or offshore this, but it's possible.
Yeah. So you've got the core elements, but then the companies that are really embedded with you and working deeply with you are the ones that are saying, hey, what about this? What about this? And you're able, sounds like in a lot of cases, you're able to find those roles, people with experience and expertise who can support.
I'm Kevin, I'm really shocked myself, right? I mean, we're very strong with accounting and finance, and accounting principles and rules and laws are very different from country to country.
Right.
We're able to do accounting work for the US. We're doing accounting work for Australia, aside from the
Yeah.
Philippines. So, I mean, it is a global arena now.
Yeah, it is. It is. And so when you started, you were in the Philippines, but but Docs has also expanded to other countries as well. How's that gone?
Uh, the Philippines is the easiest. I'm here. I'm the
Awesome.
I'm the man on the ground. And the Philippines is growing. It's a growing industry. The BPO industry is growing in the Philippines, and people love to outsource or offshore to the Philippines because of our neutral English accent, the work ethics, right? So we pretty much can operate 24/7. If our clients are in the US, we will adapt to US hours. If they're in Australia, then we adapt to Australia hours. If it's night shift US, even better for us because that means daytime here, right? Uh, so we expanded to other countries. We wanted to see, every country has their own specialty, right? So, for instance, Vietnam is very good with IT. We do have people there doing IT work. And for those who wanted Spanish speakers or some VIPs who would be more nearshore as a nearshore solution, then we have an office in Colombia
Yeah.
to support that segment.
And,
It's
and
really interesting. I mean, it's all different cultures, yet we speak the same language. The Philippines is, I think, we're the least Asian of all the Asian countries. In fact, we're the Latinos of Asia, having been a Spanish colony for over 300 years. And we find
yeah.
that so much similarities with Colombia, with our Colombia counterparts.
Oh, fascinating. And clients are coming to you for Spanish speaking and English speaking skill sets. That must
Oh
be
yeah, and we also have Chinese speaking and French speaking. Not a whole
oh
lot, not a whole lot, but I was in one of the virtual meetups with the new hires,
yeah.
and one of the guys said, they hired me because I can speak Chinese, and they do events in China. And turns out he's from my school, and I said, but we're not good with Chinese, right? And I tested him, and he's so much better than me. So we do have different skill sets. We can find these people.
Fascinating. So you said you deal with a whole range of different clients, some that are one or two seats, and then at the other end you've got the people who are the glass and the steel estimators that are pushing the boundaries in terms of the kinds of skill sets that they're looking for. Let me ask this: when you see the range of clients that you have, there's going to be some that are doing a great job of actually building that global team and making everybody feel like they're a part of the whole thing. What do they do differently that makes their Doxa team a part of an integrated part of their team?
So you actually answered the question yourself. They made them a part of their team, right? So others, we fired clients before for not we have differences in values, and they treated our people not so great, right? The best way to integrate offshore team is to really make them feel they're part of the domestic team. Uh, that's first and foremost. I would say from the very beginning, set expectations very clear. And I mentioned this earlier, don't micromanage. In Asia, we really like to micromanage. And when I asked our people, our VIPs, they said the thing they love the most is that their clients trust them to do the right things. And it actually brings out their potential, and they put their best foot forward. A lot of great ideas actually come from our VIPs.
Yeah.
So what else? I think clients should also understand the culture of uh, of the remote staff, whether in Colombia or the Philippines. Take a little bit interest in them as a human being, and it's not unusual. So they get to know who their families are, their aspirations for their kids, what's important to them. Um, another culture part is the Philippines is big on gift giving. It's called pasalubong. When we travel, we bring a little something to say, hey, we thought of you. So I would encourage our clients who come to bring a little gift for them. It could be a chocolate bar or something, but something that shows that we thought of you. Because if you don't, you will be embarrassed when the VIPs give you gifts,
Right.
and their teammates in the US gifts, and it's not unusual. They'll bring something special from their town, whether it's coffee or dried mangoes, right?
Right, Vegas.
Dried mangoes. So gift giving is huge. It doesn't have to be big. It
Right.
can be your company swag, right? But
Yeah.
it just shows that you are thinking of them. So we also have clients who, when they have virtual meets with their US team, and they said, okay, we're sending you gift cards for $20, they also send our people here a food voucher.
Fantastic.
So that really integrates them. What's also interesting, I think this is big. It's not uncommon, but it's not also not everyone's doing this. We do have a lot of clients who are requesting their VIPs to go to visit the US, either for team building or for an annual planning, 1 week of annual planning. Now the visa is not so easy to get, but we're getting there. We're getting good. This year, I think we have about 90% acceptance rate granting US visas.
Right.
But if you have a big team here, we've had clients who would come here to conduct training.
Right.
So it's really, they're really integrated. And they're acknowledged.
So you've got clients who are coming and visiting and actually spending time with their teams in the Philippines and doing the planning and doing the work on site and getting to know them in person.
That's right. They would stay a week. I have a client who comes here 2 weeks in a year. And this person was kind of overboard. He would maintain his body clock is in central time.
Yeah.
So he's awake during night here and would be asleep during the day for 2 weeks.
Wow.
but it shows how they are invested in the team here.
Yeah.
I mean, they at first, the specific one would give a simple task, and they realize that the people can actually do much more technical tasks. So they would come here and do the training themselves.
Fantastic. So what's next for Doxa? Where are you going? I mean, to go from 0 to 950 VIPs in a short period of time is incredible. Where are you going next?
We want more, right? We want to impact more communities. We want to impact more lives. So this year, we just started in Colombia late last year, or maybe early this year. So we want to grow that team. We want to work even more closely with our clients to show them how they can tap into into global talent across their organizations. Really understand what their needs are and show them the possibilities. But
Right.
the really is getting to markets that we have not been present in, and it's quite a lot.
Yeah. And I thought I'd seen something recently about Doxa moving towards franchising.
Yes. So that is the big project this year.
Yeah.
We are offering everyone who would work hard the opportunity to get a share of the Doxa pie, right? Start their own business and leverage on the back office of Doxa. We'll handle all the recruiting, the service delivery, work, all these things. All you have to do is bring in your prospective clients. We'll organize a day to introduce Doxa, and encourage more entrepreneurs.
Fantastic. That seems like an interesting way of doing it, especially for professional services companies that are working with a number of different clients. That this is an offering that they can bring and deliver additional value to their clients.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's such a new concept. The early adapters are the huge multinationals, or in the healthcare companies, or the airlines and the hotels, mostly service. But what we're saying is that this can actually be applied to almost any industry.
Right. Fantastic. Well, Edward, it was wonderful talking with you today. It's incredible to see the growth, but also the different approach that you've taken with Doxa that has had not just an impact on your clients, but also on the lives of your VIPs. Because as you were saying, when they're happy and they're able to progress their lives and buy houses and spend time with their families, then it's just a better experience for everybody at that point. So thank you very much for the time today. It was great talking to you.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
Thanks for tuning in to the Mid-Market Edge podcast. For more information, visit the Mid-Market Edge website at midmarketedge.com. Details are in the show notes. Remember to subscribe and like the show so you'll never miss an episode. And until next time, keep building your edge in the mid-market.